grabbed it, and now LeBlanc is taking a bunch of damage. But who's going to go first? And it looks like Atlas is going to be the first one that gets shut down, and Ashe is going to grab it. LeBlanc is going to get those auto attacks, and this Fiend fight is going disastrous so far, as now the turnaround. Perpetual Dusk has found some damage, as Burger King's going to grab two, and the autos are going to come in, but you're going to feed Burger King a triple kill, and he's right back into the game. As a non-curse is 6, he's going to be looking for the gank. Even with an eye is going to get knocked up, and the damage is going to come in. He's not going to have enough eyes in the tank, as he's going to drop first, and the auto attacks are going to come through. Perpetual Dusk is stunned up, force the cleanse. R's going to be there, and now the ultimate from Atlas is trying to keep everyone alive. Is any follow-up damage going to come? But everyone's going to be dropping, as a non-curse played a very immaculate fight getting belly, and now Copper is trying to keep him alive. Atlas capping out this Tom Kench. No one's dropped yet, but Burger King is on the back line. Good ultimate from the side of Atlas, keeping everyone alive, and now the fight reset's going to be there. Burger King is taking so much damage, and a non-curse is going to be the first one to drop as Atlas grabs it. And now they're just so good at kiting so far, as weak side veteran's going to get a good split, and a shutdown's going to be grabbed. Hook's not going to land. The kickback is going to be there. Atlas is going to get that ultimate down, trying to stay safe as long as he can. LeBlanc is going to get that extra autos. Atlas is the first one to drop. The fight is completely split, and Ragnarok is struggling, and the shutdown's going to come in for Vars. Burger King is down. All the damage is out as Perpetual Dusk forced to kite away. Kaiso's going to get his ultimate. He's going to grab the kill on that end, and a 4 for Not, as everyone's going to drive except the Nato. Surprising. Welcome back, and it was a very short break and we were gone, but now we're here. I'm still joined with the God Zenzen, given the analysis from heaven. I'm gonna go with it. Yep, he's not dead yet, but go ahead. How you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. I mean, I was ascended after that last game. I was so excited to see the first game of the Mythic tournament, and these teams played so well. Now we're looking at 6-game Riot against the Goofy Goobers, and this draft is lightning fast. Both teams really know what they want to play.
Yep, absolutely. This is something that we shouldn't be surprised about. The Lucian, Nami coming out, Geico, and Frozen are extremely lane-dominant players. They want to win every single lane, so I'm not surprised that they're going to take the best laners available. And with Pigu Powder, from what I know about him, she's probably going to be looking to head to that boss side pretty quickly. And Volibear is one of the best tower divers in the game for as a jungler, very strong in the early game, and that ability to turn off towers is very, very impactful. As I am going to enjoy my hate crusade, as I'm not going to go too far into it, but everyone knows I don't like Sivir, but she's now been picked, so we'll see if she's going to go the 80 carry route of the full lethality, or if she's going to go more of the on-hit crit version.
Yeah, looking at these two teams, it's very interesting. Goofy Goobers very clearly have identified what they want to do in their first 3 picks. You've got Sivir, you've got Jarvan, you got Rakan. All 3 of those characters want to run real fast in a straight line at your opponent. Goofy Goober is going to go ahead and pick up the Fiora in the top lane, but going to be countered by the Mordekaiser, so that Volibear is going to be flexed into the jungle for Pigu Pounder, and we have an interesting matchup in top, and Akali being slammed by random capitals. Oh, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the side of the Goofy Goober, I don't know about you, but it feels like this comp makes absolutely no sense. Fiora was picked blind, so you kind of gave options for any counter pick. Now, lucky for the side of Rogue Trader, Angel chose a matchup that Fiora is traditionally very good in. It's still skill oriented, as Angel can be very tanky, and it's very difficult sometimes for Fiora to burst them out. But in the late game, Fiora just completely melts the Mordekaiser instantly, so I can definitely see where that angle is going to be. But Akali wants to team fight more so as an assassin, and it's going to be really on this 4-man squad to do so, as Rogue Trader needs to find those advantages in the 1v1. If you're going to pick Fiora, you better stomp your lane.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at both of these drafts, I think that we're going to have a very interesting game. On the one hand, Sick Game Riot has an incredible bottom lane powerhouse. We've seen this Lucian Nami pick up time and time again, and we know how incredibly lane dominant it can be. But Goofy Goobers also has some pug stompers on their side, like in the top half of the map. Yes, Fiora and Mordekaiser are going to be dueling it out, but Akali versus Ahri can also be a very volatile lane. If Akali is able to, once she hits that 6, start to land those skill shots on the Ahri, we can see the map sort of exploded up rapidly. And neither of these teams have like particularly great late game insurance policies, so these first 15 or 20 minutes are going to be absolutely critical to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the main focus is definitely going to be for Goofy Goobers. They need to let their bot lane survive this matchup. It is very, very difficult for Lucian and Nami to not stomp this lane. I mean, they would have to play very, very a basically series of misplays where Khan is such a weak laner, and combined with Sivir, who is 500 range just like the Lucian, so you always get dashed in, and those Nami auto attacks with the Tie-Color blessing, especially if Frozen goes electrocute, and that does seem like something he would do, just of how focused these two are on playing lanes well. And this bot lane for the side of SGR has been together for a very, very long time. They've been High Masters players at one point or another, playing together in a 2v2 cohesive unit for basically almost a year and a half now, maybe more, that I'm unaware of. But I mean, a lot of focus is going to be on this bot side, and Street Smurf is not the big carry we used to expect him. He's definitely more of an enabler, but he still plays lanes very well, maintains his CS, and it's going to be on Random Capitals to really show how good of a laner he's going to be and whether or not he can shut down Street Smurf from getting out of the map and looking for those plays.
Yeah, and my eyes in particular are actually drawn to this jungle matchup between Red Milk Tea and Pigu Pounder, because I think that the starting positions of this Jarvan and Volibear are going to tell us a lot about how these teams want to interact in the early phases of this game. Red Milk Tea is spoiled for choice in terms of which lane he can go to try and find ganks. Ari, traditionally a pretty difficult jungler, or pretty difficult mid laner to gank, post 6, but pre 6, if you can get that Akali ahead, that's absolutely massive. Same can be said for his top lane, and his bottom lane has very good setup. Nami, a pretty immobile character, so might be able to get shut down by Rakan Jarvan, a very powerful combination. So I don't know where he's going to go for his first couple camps. Meanwhile, Pigu Pounder similarly has a lot of agency in this early game because he is so powerful when fighting the enemy jungler. So I cannot wait to see where they're going to go. It sounds like we are about ready to hop into game. Let's get it on. Game number 2 of the Mythic League Spring Tournament starts now.
Absolutely, the runner-up from our last Mythic division, SGR, facing off against a new opponent, new faces in the side of the Goofy Goobers, whose name will always remain in infamy as either fantastic or terrible, depending on how you look at it. But this is going to show us a lot about where these two teams are going to be standing, and we haven't seen SGR in so long, especially with this new look top side. It's going to be interesting how strong they come out and how strong Goofy Goober comes out with basically all new faces in this division.
And while we have a calm before the storm, let me just say that if you would like to connect to FOF Esports, if you're enjoying your time tonight, for those of you who might be first-time viewers, it's pretty cool. FOF has not only its own merch that you can check out on FOFesports.com, but we also have our own magazine. Have you ever seen a professional, like a amateur esports tournament with its own magazine? We have one. It's called the FOF Connect. You can check it out in between games. It is so cool. Like, I'm not even shilling for it just for shilling it. Like, I read it every single time that we do one of these things because it is rad. We got all sorts of articles in there. So if you're enjoying the show, I hope that you check it out in between games. But we don't have time for that. We got a game to catch.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if we're since the shilling is on, I have to get my little bit of shills out. FOF has been the peak of professionalism. I mean, everybody on the staff works extremely hard to put down the best show for these players that we possibly can, and yeah, giving some attention to some of the work and effort that they put in is definitely something that, if you are new, you should consider. And hopping on the FOF website would definitely be appreciated.
Yeah, and I think that it shows in the quality of the community that gets built up here as well, right? Players keep coming back either as administrative roles. I'm a player for a team in the Heroic League, and I'm here because I love the org so much, and I love sort of the community that we've built. Taking a look at this game state, though, it looks like both junglers, again, going to be on opposite sides of the map early. It does look like Red Milk Tea going to be spotted out by a quick ward from Street Smurf. Meanwhile, Pigu Pounder temporarily undetected in the bottom side.
Yep, Random Capitals under his tower, not really going to be able to get much pressure off. This is a very skill-heavy matchup, though. Kali versus Ari. If Kali does dodge the charm at any point, then all-in can be looked for. She's one of the very few champions who can follow the Ari even when she is ulting. So I'm really interested to see how Random Capitals plays this matchup because I really respect players who go for those high mechanical champions and really just look for the skill check.
Yeah, and look at this right on time, 3:13 on the clock. Pigu Pounder coming in for the gank.
Yep, this is the SGR special, early gank bot. You knew this is where they were going to be looking, as Raccoon's going to be in trouble. Knockup is going to be good for Steven, and now no summoners forced out as a very high amount of discipline coming out from this bot lane, using exactly what amount of cooldowns they needed to just to stay safe.
Yeah, heal going to be burned from Raccoon, but again, this is the power of Sivir. That spell shield so critical to their success there. Steve the Crusader also landing a beautiful knockup, just completely denying the engage from the Volibear. Means that no play is going to be had. Both junglers just going to have to take the Scuttle Crabs and waddle home. As
dash in. Frozen taking a bunch of damage. Exhaust is going to come out, of the heal rather, as Raccoon's going to be in trouble. Steven getting those autos in, as Gecko's going to find it as the 2v2 has come in. Raccoon's unable to get the grab, but Dash is going to come on, and the autos attacks are here as Frozen grabs the second, as the 2v2s are already coming out for SGR, putting on a show already.
Yeah, and Red Milk Tea now going to try and make his move.
Oh, yep, he wants a little bit of some too. Ooh. That is going to be the dash away. Street Smurf with a beautiful sidestep, and now the Ignite's going to be there. Red Milk Tea is going to get 2v1 as Street Smurf is going to grab it with the fancy feet in the mid lane.
SGR.
Oh, Red Buff is in. He's still finding those autos.
Yeah, SJR absolutely popping off in the early game, picking up 3 quick kills before the 5-minute mark. Angel Arc gonna have to be careful with his health, but fantastic. Oh my god!
And the E is gonna be there, but Street Smurf's taking the tower, and he's gonna get 1v1 by Random Capitals. Too aggressive and well played on the side of this Akali, punishing that Ari.
Yeah, feeling himself a little bit there. Street Smurf, got a little bit too hyped, but. Can you really blame him? What a fantastic early game from the side of SGR. They're going to be carrying that gold all the way to that bank. And look at that pickaxe, double longsword, and a dagger coming out from the Lucian to kick things off in the bottom lane. And I hate to say it, but even with this small of a difference, I'm a little bit worried for this bottom lane for the red team. They're looking to be in a world of pain coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a nightmare for Raccoon. If you go back to base and you do not get that lethality item on your first wave, you just don't do any damage. But Gecko's going to dash in. The Dog's going to be there. Raccoon taking so much damage as Gecko's going to get the trade. Beautiful bow for Frozen, but that's the dash going to come in as Gecko did trade his life to this jungler. But Raccoon's dead again, and if this wave doesn't crash, the Sivir is still going to be in an awful position.
Yeah, Goofy Goober is fortunately able to trade going back. I really appreciate Milk Tea making his way downtown to make it evened up, but here we have.
They're going for this dragon. Your 80 carry's dead. Random Capital is going on Street Smurf. The dash is not going to land from Steven, but now the ultimate's going to be there. Random Capital is looking for the final kill, unable to grab it, going to be forced to walk away. Pegu Powder is completely out of position as he's going to take the 1v1 versus Rub Milk Tea. Raccoon's going to be there first, and that's the kill dropping as this jungler has found himself into the death chamber, and the dragon fight is not over. Gecko is now here. It looks like SGR doesn't want to give this up just yet. Here's the walk in. No ultimate going to be coming in as the autos and the damage so much coming out from Gecko, who's gotten so many amplifications from this Ari, but the forced walkaway is going to be there as the Goofy Goobers have saved their life and stayed safe as there was so much damage that came out from the spotlight.
Yeah, very close play, but ultimately it is the Goobers who come out ahead, picking up a kill as well as a dragon for their side. Still going to be walking away with a lot of resources burned. Raccoon still not having access to that flash, but we take that when the stakes are that high. Had Goofy Goobers lost that fight in a decisive way, I am quite certain that SGR would just be able to steamroll this game. But fortunately for them, able to even it up.
Yep, and important to note, Raccoon has just decided when he went back to base the last time that he's completely given up on the lethality build. Just wants a slower, more scaling build, going that pickaxe. He sold his tier of the goddess, looking more so for this pickaxe AD. But with so much aggression coming out from this bot lane, he's constantly getting poked out. I mean, this CS advantage is just only going to extend. This lane is so weak on the bot side that Gecko can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and Archangel, knowing his matchups very well, picked up the Bramble Vest in the top side. Very, very good early build into the Fiora because of her constant healing. We haven't seen a lot of action yet in that top side because this bottom lane is so scary. Honestly, Raccoon is in danger of being dove. They're going to have to play very, very carefully down here.
Yeah, at this point, they're just trying to survive, right? I mean, the bleeding has already started, and you're just not trying to give over anymore. I mean, it's really even dangerous for Red Mickle's T to even come down there because unless Lucian dashes in and doesn't instantly get a kill, I mean that you're ganking a losing lane, and that's always dangerous for a jungle.
Yeah. I do want to give credit where credit is due to the Goobers, though, because even though bottom lane is in like such an awkward spot, they're doing a good job of trying to mitigate the damage. Up until this moment, they had pink wards on both of their bot side jungle entrances, completely preventing the ability of Volibear to really get in here and force a dive, and they still have managed to re-establish that vision. So they are protecting themselves, even knowing that it's a bad matchup. They are mitigating the damage. But here we see on the minimap, Ahri and Volibear making a play towards that bottom side.
Yeah, this is the 4-man special, and Red Milk Tea is reading it as we're looking for the trade. All is going to be there. Ultimate popped. Rogue Traeger is looking for it in the last dash, but he's not going to be able to get the last stack as Angel's going to grab a solo kill onto Trader and just unable to get that last auto in as this 1v1 looked like it was going to be for Rogue, but he just did not have enough damage.
Yeah, look at how close he is to proccing all 4 vitals. He gets the 4th one, flashes, but then dies to the passive from Mordekaiser before he can get it. Archangel doing a great job of holding as close to that wall as they can to make that difficult. And that's going to be a huge pickup in a very volatile top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is exactly what we'd expect from higher level players, knowing that he needs to pinch the wall, not allowing Fiora to get around and find that angle. And Fiora's a champion where she just gets punished really, really hard if she doesn't get all of that true damage from her passive from constantly hitting those vitals. And Mordekaiser can just straight up win that 1v1 in the early game before Fiora gets a lot of items.
Right. So taking stock of this game now, pretty even, although a slight lead going to be building for SGR. And particularly, I think that top lane lead is going to be very impactful because looking at the side of this team, Goofy Goobers really don't want to send somebody to match Mordekaiser that isn't that Fiora. You can send the Akali, but Akali would much rather be causing chaos in the fights and trying to assassinate the Lucian.
Oh, looking for the kill. Street Smurf going to use that ultimate in. He's going extremely deep, though, and there's no mana on this Ahri afterwards. The dash going to be away. Random Capital is going to flash on the opposite direction, not find his way over the wall and give over a kill to Street Smurf as a mechanical misplay for the side of this Akali.
Yeah, and SGR, once again...
Oh, dash is going to be in. Last charm's going to be there. Stun's going to land. Frozen's looking for it, but he's in the Cataclysm trap. A solo kill grabbed as Red Milk Tea is not dead yet. A good dash in. The shield's going to be there, and now the chase is coming out. Ultimate's going to come for Steven, and he is not going to be able to get in range to charm up the Volibear's Pigu's going to grab it, but really well played as Steven did everything he could to try to keep Red Milk alive.
Yeah, Steve playing out of his mind, trying to desperately save the life of his jungler. That's a true support. That's the support that I want on my team right there. The dude who's going to do absolutely everything to keep his team alive. Unfortunately, not quite enough in that instance, but that spirit is going to carry the Goobers forward. As we approach the second dragon of the game, 20 seconds on the spawn, and both teams gunning, beelining directly towards it.
Yeah, and speaking of this, the Angel is just consistently getting good trades into Rogue Trader, winning this lane. Ultimate's going to be popped. Extremely no. Repulse isn't going to get much, as now the passive stacks are going to come, and that's a solo kill again for Angel, going aggressively under the tower and picking up that Fiora.
Yeah, and Red Milk Tea, look at that, forced to come
Oh, Random Capital is going to be in trouble. The dash is going to be in. Street Smurf taking a bunch of damage, doesn't have the ultimate available just yet. The R out is going to be there for Capital, who's going to stay alive. But Red Milk Tea, you're trying to go for this kill, but you don't have enough damage in the tank just yet. And that's another kill as Angel's on a killing spree, fighting another solo kill in this top side.
You know, I hate to say it, Found, but it looks like SGR has found the weak point that they need to exploit, and look at Archangel pulling 3 solo kills back-to-back in that top lane, looking absolutely dominant. Forcing the jungler top also allows his team to pick up the dragon. It's all sunny side up for SGR right now.
Yeah, and this is a really difficult look. It's for the side of the Goobers. I mean, Rogue Traeger, he took this Fiora blind, so he was basically confident taking this matchup into anything that Angel could put into him, and he's been struggling very difficult in the 1v1. The last one was close, but after that, there hasn't been anything else, as the Charm is going to land. Dash is going to be on the Pan Powder, take so much damage. He's not going to drop just yet, but there is going to be a trade. Geico is going to get the ultimate out, and now Raccoon's going to get exhausted, taking so much damage. Forced to flash away. Geico is going to follow Flash and find it as Randall Capital. He doesn't have enough damage just yet. Looking to find this Nami, but doesn't have it in the tank, as Steven's going to go in and feed over a Quadra kill as Geico kills everybody.
SGR, what is going on? Dominance coming out from Geico, absolutely clowning that fight, coming up 13-5 in kills, a Quadra for a Lucian who was already ahead, Gale Force already completed, and I have to say it is looking not so great for the Goobers. One might say that they have goofed a time too many in this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a mixed execution of strategy. You do not want to fight into this bot side. Lucian Nami is extremely strong in the early game, and giving them those early fights just accelerates this Lucian to the point where he is massive right now. 500 shutdown onto the side of Geico. He's made one mistake in the early game getting punished, but after that, he's just been so clean, and there's so much damage is going to come out from this Lucian, and no one's going to be able to tank it.
Oh no, and
Red Milk Tea, he's gonna get charmed up, he's gonna get stunned, and there's not enough to save his life, as that's Jarvan giving it over, as another kill is gonna be grabbed for Pigu Powder, and now this is gonna be a free Rift Herald for the side of SGR.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the desperation sort of already in the Goobers. They're doing everything that they in their power to try and make something happen, try to claw back what victories they can, but it seems like SGR just has their number, suspecting that J4 might try to sneak the Herald and just immediately stops the play in its tracks, and it's looking rough out here on the Rift.
Absolutely. Gore Drinker is going to be in for Rogue Trader on the top side. Does have a better 1v1 than he had previously, but Angel has just been playing this matchup so well, constantly spacing out with his Q, not allowing Fiora to get free vitals, and when that happens, it's very, very difficult to fight. And now you just see Frozen and Geico completely zoning Raccoon and Steven out of the lane, not allowing them to get in to get CS. And while Sibber does have some of the best wave clear in the game, she does need to get into range, and she's completely out of boomerang range at this point. As there's the dash in, Auto's going to come in. Geico is going to get a bunch of damage in reprisal, so not a completely lost trade, but it's been very, very punishing on the side of this bot lane for the Goofy Goobers.
Yeah, and I feel a lot in particular for the jungler, Red Milk Tea, trying to do his absolute best, but I've seen these games before where my lanes sort of fall behind early through no fault of their own, just through some, smart team fighting for the enemy team, and then all of a sudden my jungle's warded up. I don't have the ability to make those proactive plays that my champion needs to do in order to be successful. Look at this pink ward from SGR. It has spotted out the entirety of his movement in this top side, and as yet has been uncleared. So it's just so hard for the Goobers to force a play. They're trying to make something happen in this bottom lane, but it's going to be a tough battle as their Rift Herald is going to get dropped.
Yeah, Rift Herald's going to spawn. Not enough tools. 4 people in this bot side, completely splitting the map. Both mid laners vacating. And now Rogue Trader did force out the shield, so if he was going to ever look for a 1v1, it'd have to be now. And now he's going to try to find those vitals, does get all 4, but so much damage is coming out from the side of Angel, and he just doesn't have enough in the case. But the post is going to be there, and the flash is going to come away from Rogue Trader. Wasn't comfortable to continue the fight, but now there is a roam coming up. Random Capital is going to look to try to grab one, as the bot side is going to be cracking for the side of the Goofy Goobers, as another kill is going to be grabbed for the side of Street Smurf, and they're just continuously pushing, and the teleport out is going to save Angel, and nothing is going to be grabbed for the side of the Goobers.
SGR, man, what a dominance performance so far. Just good on every side of the map. They're making plays topside, surviving the play from Rogue Trader and Random Capitals. They're making plays bottom side, getting the bottom inhibitor turret at 17 minutes. That is so fast. A massive what even is that? I can't do math today. 7,000 gold lead, about to be 8 at 17 minutes. That is a dominant game if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're just so far ahead at this point. I mean, there isn't anything the Goobers really can do to try to collect up this disadvantage except find picks. And if you're looking for someone to kill, it has to be onto Geico. You need him to miss position. There is still a lot of CC that can come out from the side of Rakan and the side of Jarvan. I mean, Rakan's specialty is he's such a good team fighter if he can make it through lane. And I guess he made it through, but not definitely in the shape he would have wanted.
Yeah. And, you know, the Goobers, as you say, do have a couple of options to get into this game, but because of the drafts these teams have picked, they've both drafted, like, somewhat feast or famine characters, and unfortunately, the Goobers are definitely starving for gold right now. You know, CS numbers pretty even across the board still, which is quite good for them, but just the amount of gold in towers and in kills is starting to become overwhelming at this point.
Yep, Steven looking to try to help out Rogue Trader at this top side. The pullback isn't going to land for Angel, so not enough reprisal, but the wave is gone, and now this is ISO Qs, and it's so much damage has just been dropping onto this Fiora consistently, and she hasn't managed to find any avenue in. Well, level down with constantly getting pressured under her tower, this is not where Fiora wants to be.
Yeah, and without Flash, I mean, might be considering abandoning that tower soon. Look at this setup in the mid lane. SGR looking to pressure the Street Smurf.
Both sides looking for the dive. Charm's going to land. Good usage to make sure that the spell shield was popped so the Charm can land easily. As now Rogue Trader is going to be forced to get over his tower, and Raccoon's going to die in the mid. So there's a full wipe for the side of SGR on objectives. They're going to get 2 towers off this play.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that's so impressive about these teams in the Mythic League is that they absolutely know how to shake a lead or how to push a lead, right? This is
speaking of it, they're trying to push a league right now. Rogue Trader's going to be in trouble. Doesn't have the damage just yet. Looking to proc those vitals. Going to force Pego Powder to flash away. But now he's going to try to get closer. Unable to get it. He's in the death realm, and he's going to find himself in the gray screen as there's so many people coming, and his team could not do anything to save his life.
Yeah, I mean...
Street Smurf's going to get caught out. He's in trouble. Steven Crowd's going to land as much of damage as he can. Now the force away is going to be there as Crusader is going to get the shutdown, but it's going to go over to the side of Red Milk Tea, forcing the flash out of Raccoon in this bot side, as these towers just continuously break early. And while Raccoon can wave clear, he can't even approach the wave because his team is so far behind.
Yeah, I mean... Again, Goober's doing absolutely everything that they can.
Ultimate's going to come in, and the last bullets aren't going to make it just on the tip of the cape. And so close for the side of Geico, but not enough in the chamber.
I mean, the Goobers are doing absolutely everything that they can to hold on. They're trying to find individual pickoffs, but you can see that it takes them 2 or 3 members at a time hitting a surprise play in order to even get, you know, 1 kill on the board. Meanwhile, looking on their opponents, SGR able to just powerhouse through things. Every single member on their team has a ton of gold. The Essence Reaver completed for the Lucian, now working on his 3rd item of the game. Ari as well, also very powerful. Riftmaker Zanya's Bramble Vest for the Archangel just has everything that they could ever want.
Absolutely, and while there is, you know, a little bit of trolling now from the side of Geico going for that collector, Lord Dominus is definitely better. I mean, does more damage overall, but I mean, definitely looking for those quick execute combos. That's obviously gonna be the plan. They want very, very fast team fights for the side of SGR, and with the way they've been playing, it's just been very quick picks to find those early angles, and then after that, there isn't a lot of reprisal that can come.
Yeah, I like what SGR is doing now. They know that the enemy team is going to be worried about this Baron, because this Baron could potentially close out the game. So SGR is instead going to play actually towards this bottom side and continue to stack dragons, just to have an insurance policy to make sure that even if they were to lose a catastrophic fight, they would still have the lead in terms of that sort of passive stats that are coming in from those objectives. So they're going to start transitioning their vision over to this side of the map, send Archangel down to push, and then recall right before the objective is about to come up so they can be full power.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just another example of the changes that Riot made to the game in the offseason. The addition in of objective boundaries basically means you can't let the enemy team have anything. There's a bonus gold if you get a very high lead, and that is something SGR has. And you just don't want any extra accruement of resources to come in any avenue. So this dragon is definitely the smart play, but Fiora is on that top side by herself, looking to break this tower, but this tower is completely full HP, so not going to be able to grab it. And that is a Fiora with Demolish, and she had been getting so far behind in lane, unable. That's the first proc she was able to get.
Yeah, and the Goobers, they cannot contest the dragon, so they have to play towards the top side of the map. They're doing a good job of trying to set up vision here and perhaps force a bait. Again, trying to play to their outs, but I suspect that SGR isn't going to fall for it, as Red Milk Tea is spotted out on the Baron ward.
Yep, looking for a pick, trying to punish. Now, that was a ping on the Baron, but now it looks like the play is going to be to try to dive Angel, but he's so tanky, and this is not someone you want to look for. But here comes the ultimate from Rogue Trader. The fight is on, and Angel's going to finally get that ult out. The riposte is going to be there. Now, Rogue Trader has to cut this out. He's trying to live as long as he can, unable to do so, and now the healing field is there. Angel is just on a tear, getting so much damage, and White Smite's not going to bear the bottom lane. You have a stun. Random Capital has nothing as Geico's going to grab one. Now, Red Milk Tea is going to barely get out by the skin of his teeth as this raid boss is chasing everybody down. And now with this inhibitor dropping 23 minutes onto the clock, it looks like SGR is just going for the win as recalls are still coming and Angel's still chasing out too.
Archangel is so winning this game, forcing back 3 members, going to prevent the members of the Goofy Goobers back to defend the base. Turrets are blown.
Charm's gonna land, Crowder's gonna die, and that is another a Crusader rather, as now with that legendary going on to Geico, Red Milk Tea is gonna give his life before the game drops, and another double kill for Geico as SGR put everybody in the ground, showing that they are a team to look out for, completely stomping out the Goobers.
Yeah, what an incredible performance from, honestly, the whole dang squad of Sick Game Riot, really living up to the name and making the game pretty sick. 11-1 on the Lucian paired with the Nami for Geico. Very, very powerful, and who can forget how incredibly strong Archangel was, pulling up so much pressure, preventing the team of the Goobers from really being able to fight any of those sorts of objectives because Red Milk Tea just had to be pulled top lane so often. They didn't have even the smidgen of an opportunity to contest those dragons.
Yeah, there just was not enough. I mean, this bot side just did way too much, and it was really into SGR's win condition. They drafted for their bot lane. They wanted to get a winning 2v2, and it definitely helps when you're playing into one of the weakest 2v2 lanes into the game. Very difficult to navigate that Sivir and that Rakan in that matchup. But I think Raccoon and Steve did their best. They tried to keep their lane comparable. They didn't fall super far behind in CS, but the pressure from the team fights and this how much dragon pressure came out early was just too much for them to bear. And SGR is going to grab their first victory, showing that they are a team to beat. And with that, we're going to quickly go to break, and then we'll have an interview with one of our winning players. And I cannot wait to hear what our runner-ups are saying about how happy they are to be back in the Mythic League.
Hello everyone, Chris Edgeworth here with our second interview of Mythic, and I'm joined by Geico, the victorious Sick Game Riot. SGR Reborn here once again. Welcome, and how are you feeling after the win?
Feeling pretty great. Stoked also that I finally get to play to Friend or Foe, because I always wanted to play after like coaching so many years.
Hell yeah! Well, this is quite a way to show your stuff out here on the stream. Let people know that are new to Friend or Foe what it's all about here. So let's talk a little bit about this game. You folks had drafted for your side the Lucian Nami, and they matched that up against the Sivir Rakan. We also had the Ahri and Akali matchup in the mid lane, and the very interesting Fiora Mordekaiser matchup in the top side. What were your thoughts overall on this draft and what you folks picked and what you're up against?
I mean, we were pretty confident that we would win the draft when we saw their top laner's champion pool, actually, because we realized that he was very abusable because he only plays like very tank-ish champions. He only has like 2 picks that like derive from tanks, basically, so we just banned those. And then he was forced onto like first timing Fiora. So even though it was a bad matchup for Mordekaiser still pulled the win because my top lane is just built different. And then I don't really know what they were expecting when they drafted Sivir Rakan into Lucian. They could have just like picked Caitlyn and just neutralized the lane entirely, but I guess they wanted to make it hard for themselves. So yeah,
they're out here just to have a good time, you know. And let's talk a little bit overall on how this game did end up playing out. I mean, the cut and dry of it, no two ways about it, was just a little bit of a bot gapper in this one. You with the 11-1 and 2 story, the scoreboard, scoreline rather, 1-1 and 14 for Frozen, your lane partner on that regard. But what was your general thoughts and the feelings of the team as you guys were just sort of running rampant?
You mentioned bot gap, but I would say like pretty much, I would say bot gap, but I think it was more of a mid top jungle gap. They just pulled like so much pressure for us bottom that it was pretty much free. We could just do basically whatever we wanted. So yeah, I would give more credit to the rest of my team than myself.
Damn, I can't believe we just caught an 80 carry player live in 4K giving credit to their other lanes. Wow. Let's make sure we get this on tape, folks. All right, well, Geico, thank you so much for this interview. Before we step away, though, your opportunity on the desk, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us? Any shout-outs, any banter?
Yeah, I mean, we played that team in scrims, 2-1 them. The first game was a fluke, and we're just going to prove it again next week.
Hell yeah. All right, well, look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much, Geico, for joining us for this interview, and congrats to Sick Game Riot for their win. We do have one more set of matches coming up next for you, so don't go too far, folks. We'll be back with Game 3 of the night.